So good morning, Reverend Brothers, Mr. Brennan, parents, staff and Maros Men of Saints, and a very special welcome to our families and friends remotely viewing. So today as a college community, we will acknowledge our Year 11 support students, our Student Representative Council and the First 11 cricket team. Lucas, James and Tyler will present their service, arts and sports reports. Richard will also inform us of the importance of tomorrow's National Day of Action against bullying and violence. We will be entertained by our college big band, our Year 7 camp highlights and Year 12 retreat highlights. So please be upstanding for our procession. I'd like to welcome Noah Watson for the acknowledgement of country. He will be accompanied by Jack Barnes on the didgeridoo. This will be followed by Miguel Groth, who will lead us in prayer.
As Indigenous and non-Indigenous people gathering together, let us have a sense of the importance of the country upon which the celebration is being held, where learning and ceremony have taken place over many thousands of years. Let us sense the land beneath our feet and acknowledge to whom it belongs, the Gimmoy, Wallabara, Yidinji and Yirrakanji people. Let us pay our respect to their elders and all elders, past, present and future, for we too are one in land, one in spirit, one in faith, united in God's love.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Almighty and ever-living God, you invite us into your world, your people, your land. May this time be one of continuous focus, seeking you in those we often ignore. Help us live this season of Lent focused on freedom and generosity amongst our community and the wider population. Lord, may we provide us with a quiet focus and calm tranquility within our souls. Guard my mind and guide my thoughts. Prevent me worrying about what may or may not happen. Instead, keep me focused on the present and living for this moment. Saint Marcelin Champagne, Mary our Good Mother, and let us always remember. And then Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Thank you, Miguel and Noah. I would now like to invite Lucas McAvoy forward to deliver his service report.
Good morning, brothers, Mr. Brennan, staff, and Men of Saints. Over the last month, as you're all aware, we have been donating to our annual MAPS appeal. So far, we have raised $5,217.55, which is only a little over halfway our goal of $10,000. A big congratulations to Year 12 and 11 for leading the charge for the school. Year 12 has donated $2,807 and Year 11 with $1,273. As for grades 7 to 10, you've raised a combined $1,116. There are still 2 weeks left to donate, and I strongly encourage Year 7 to 10 to have one final push so we can reach our goal, as you're dragging the chain at the moment. The prefects will continue to sell pikelets on Tuesday mornings over the next 2 weeks, so make sure we bring in $1 for a plate of pikelets. Also keep a lookout for the FPOS machine on Wednesdays to donate with your card. As for upcoming service opportunities, keep an ear out for the Salvation Army door knock next term. If all goes to plan, it will run on the last week of May. If you're interested in partaking for Relay for Life, I encourage you to start thinking about it now. Mrs. Cross and I will get teams organised early next term so we can hit the ground running in fundraising for this worthy cause that we always support very generously. Finally, a thank you to all our Year 12s and staff that have helped out with Rosies. So far it's going strong with 4 teams out this term already. For any Year 12s that are interested in volunteering, it will continue running in term 2. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact Mrs. Cross or myself. Cheers.
Cheers, Lucas, and let's continue to get around these great service opportunities. I'd now like to invite forward David and Nick for the Peer Support Badge presentation.
Good morning, Mr. Brennan, brothers, teachers, Year 11 peer support and students. My name is Nicholas Maynard, and I'm here today alongside with David Packham to present the Year 11 peer support badges. On day 1 this year, each boy in Year 7 was introduced to their Year 11 peer support buddy. These older boys have become essential to the Year 7 pastoral care program. They have assisted in many ways, including teaching us how to use our locks, how to pack our lockers, where each of our classrooms are, and how to read a timetable. The peer support boys have continued to visit our homeroom classes each week and have become like big brothers to us. They tell us what is going on in the college, as well as reminding us how to wear our uniform correctly, and have been a great role model for all of us. It is on behalf of the Year 7 boys that today we say thank you for everything you do and present you with these badges as a reminder of how important you are to the Year 7 boys. I will now hand over to David Packham, who will read the names of the peer support boys, and I will ask Mr. Brennan to represent the badges.
Tristan Albeitner, William Brett, Saxon Kapelos, Noah Conlon, Connor Deng, William Darrington, Zachary Downey, Owen Dunn, Jack Hardy, Sterling Harris, James Harrop, Bailey Braun, Riley Jackson, Dane Margoida, Kaylin Ma, Jesse Nielsen, Hossein Napiri, Mossimo Palapiano, Hayden Pute, Connor Puri, Joe Rowder, Banjo Robinson, Oscar Regina, Mitchell Sherpia, Zayden Tanner, Koya Titasi, Joel Vincent, Martin Weiss, and Sydney Whip.
Let's give these boys a round of applause. I'd now like to invite James and Riley forward to tell us all about their Year 7 camp.
Good morning, Mr. Brennan, Reverend Brothers, staff, and students of St. Augustine's. My name is James McDonald, and I'm here with Riley Odenthal to speak about camp. Year 7 camp was an amazing experience that we will always remember. It enabled us to make new friendships and experience new and exciting activities together as a group. We definitely made sure to have a dig, and in the process, we found we could do more than we thought was possible. To kick off the camp week, we were introduced to the camping staff at Quinola Lakes. Then we got straight into the fun as we got to know our fellow Year 7 students better. Even though we came from many different schools and were in different friendship groups, we quickly bonded over what we liked and what we learned, and we learned that we have much in common. We had a great time on the first day doing some of our favourite activities, such as orienteering, archery, camp cooking, water activities, and more. We played a four-way tug-of-war versus each house, and as always, he came out on top. Unlucky Mr. DeLucchio. After a day of fun in the sun, it was time to cool off in the lake before a hearty dinner. Following dinner, we got to experience one of Saints Camp traditions, Lantern Stalk.
Things got a bit uncertain as we braved through a rough night's sleep in the shipping containers, but we woke to a bright and early morning, ready for breakfast and to get stuck into the planned activities. We had ups and downs along the way, a few leeches and a few bruises, but after a rainy night and one last activity in the morning, we were finally ready to get back on the bus to Cairns. Reflecting back on camp, it is clear that by getting out there and having a dig, we had already started to form friendships that will last us a lifetime. We feel incredibly lucky to be able to spend these few days out of the classroom doing hands-on activities and working as a team. This would not have been possible without the staff at Quinola Lakes, and more importantly, the staff here at Saints, who went above and beyond to make our camp so great. On behalf of the Grade 7 cohort, we would like to thank Ms. Fraser, Mr. Seekey, Ms. Fish, Mrs. Olding, Mr. Williams, Mr. DeLucchio, Mrs. Light, Mr. Quadling, Mr. Cramp, Mr. DeSalvo, Mr. Moll, and a very big thank you to Ms. Trabluski.
Thanks very much, James and Riley. I'd now like to invite James Holland forward for his arts report.
Thanks, Richard. Good morning, Mr. Brennan, brothers, staff, and men of Saints. 3 months into the new year, and the arts are in full swing. The combined college's production, Matilda the Musical Junior, is rapidly approaching, with students from both schools dedicating hours of their own time into rehearsals. It would mean a lot to them if you were to go support those that have put so much time into this production, or better yet, spread the word so we can ensure a full house for every performance. To book your tickets, please go to the college portal. Just a reminder to those that have not yet handed in their contracts or pay their fees to do so immediately, as they are long overdue. Just last week, the grade 11 and 12 drama students were treated to a live one-man show titled I Rhetoric, performed by Mass Theatre. The show did not disappoint, as the performer engaged with the audience in a way they might not have experienced before. The performance related directly with the senior syllabus, so it was most definitely a worthwhile experience to all who attended. Last week, the music extension class consisting of Tom Lawrence, Richard Hewlin, and myself, and several St. Monica seniors performed their first assessment item in the cathedral. Due to current circumstances, a public audience was not permitted, but hopefully we could see as many of you attend the next one next term. Congrats to all who performed on the day. Cheers.
Cheers, James. Now sit back and relax as the College Big Band performs Route 66. Please enjoy. Thank you to the big band for an astounding performance. Fantastic job. I'd now like to invite forward Andrew and Harrison, our SRC captains, to present our SRC representatives for 2021.
Good morning, staff, Reverend brothers, and men of saints. Serving one's community is a great honour. Earlier this year, Andrew and I spoke to years 8 to 11 assemblies about what being elected to the Student Representative Council entails, and the qualities that Saints student representatives display, such as commitment to putting their peers' needs first, a love of work, and an innate drive to make a difference. They are open, approachable, and a role model to all students. Succinctly, they are authentic, compassionate men of integrity. After candidates presented a speech or a rap outlining their cause, year levels voted for their top two, with these men forming the 2021 council. Last week, Representative-elects undertook a training day with Marist Youth Ministries Adam Burns and Good Counsel College Innisfail, where they learned the finer points of Marist leadership. It is our pleasure to present the 2021 SRC. We invite Mr. Brennan to present them with their badges of office. Year 8, Caleb Howard. Patrick Ma. Year 9, Jack Folland. Max Poglio. Daniel Leibinger. Taj Townsend. Year 11, Will Derrington. Joe Router. Year 12, Andrew Bellaby. And myself. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the 2021 Student Representative Council.
Thanks, Harry. What is bullying? It is defined as the ongoing and deliberate misuse of power in relationships through repeated verbal, physical, and/or social behaviour that intends to cause physical, social, and/or psychological harm. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? To say it simply, bullying is an expression of insecurity. Making someone feel bad to make yourself feel better. Sounds horrible, right? Definitely not something a good man would do. Certainly not something a saint's man would do. However, unfortunately, bullying still exists. So what can we do to stop it? This year, the 19th of March marks the National Day of Action Against Bullying and Violence. This is the day we stop and think to ourselves, am I really aware of what is happening to people around me? Am I man enough to put a stop to anything I don't like the look of? Because that's all it is. If you see someone being picked on, then stop it. If it's one of your friends, then call them out for it. If you have a voice, then use it. Bullying can be a powerful and destructive weapon to those who bear its brunt. It creates dark clouds and heavy loads to carry. However, it is our job as good men, as saints men, to ease this burden, to shine a light of friendship through these dark clouds, and to share this load. After all, if not us, then who? I challenge each and every one of you on Friday the 19th of March to look inwardly and ask yourselves the important questions. Am I a true friend to those around me? Am I doing enough? Am I a good man? Once you've done this, do it again the next day. and then the day after that, and then the day after that, and every single day after that. Have the courage to use your voice and make Saints Brotherhood real. I would now like to invite Tyler Vincent forward for a sports report.
Good morning, Mr. Brennan, staff, Reverend brothers, and fellow Saints men. Firstly, a big congratulations on the 16-14 win in the Year 8's rugby league game against Cairns State High yesterday afternoon. Also, the Opens result, 16-12, congratulations, absolutely outstanding efforts. 5 from 5 in Seaster this week, boys, congratulations. Also, plenty of vacant spots for the swimming carnival next term. Head down to the sports shed and fill in some spots, please. A reminder about cross country in week 10. Participation is key, lads. Get involved. Cricket is alive and strong at Saints at the moment. This was evident in the large number of students who tried out. This resulted in a difficult selection process for this year's Open cricket team. 2021 will hopefully see the resumption of the Street Smart Secondary School T20 cricket competition after being suspended in 2020. This competition is a statewide competition that starts locally against schools in Cairns District and, if successful, play against teams from the Townsville and Mackay districts. Mr. Brennan, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the members of the First 11 cricket team. Captain, Finn Churchwood. Luke Bennett. Jared Caltabiano. Steele Gadd. Prashant Goal. Henry King. Dane Margiotta. Cale Newcomb. Gareth Thomas. Noel Watson. And Brody Zanatich. I'll please get a round of applause for the 2021 First 11 cricket team.
Cheers, Tyler, and congratulations, boys. I'd now like to invite Hugo Ellison forward to present the Year 12 retreat highlights.
Back in week 4, myself and the senior cohort loaded onto the Trusty Saints buses and embarked on our journey up the Gillies Range for our 3-day stay at Genazzano. The retreat was split into 2 groups, Group A going up on the Monday and returning on the Wednesday, and Group B which went up on the Wednesday and returned on the Friday. For those of you who don't know, Genazzano is a hidden gem located on the far eastern side of Lake Tinaroo. And although we had all been there prior, I can say on the behalf of everyone, staff included, we were all looking forward to the relaxing time away from the college and our busy lives. For the boys back at school, they were treated with a sizable amount of study time, whilst the other group relaxed under the trees and swam in the lake. Don't worry though, those same boys pottering around the luscious lands of Lake Tinaroo would soon experience the pain of sitting in Lennon Hall for 7 straight hours. Jokes aside, the time at school before heading up was a great opportunity to get ahead on our schoolwork so we could best engage and be stress-free over the course of the retreat. After first getting put into our small groups, shout out to Mr. Catuli, we would rotate through a number of activities each day where everyone was able to listen, connect, and grow fonder with each other. Often the chaos of school can sometimes force us to lose track of ourselves and the brothers in our grade. And this retreat was certainly a time where we could all take a step back and get to know things about people we wouldn't typically bring up in a day-to-day conversation. This ultimately led to strong bonds being created between our fellow mates and the cohort as a whole. Without spoiling the action-packed adventures for those who are next to embrace them, the days up at Genazzano were fun, funky, and fascinating, while still allowing for moments of time to chill out where we could all take in the beauties of nature in our sometimes unappreciated home of far north Queensland. I just wanted to say a big thank you to all the staff who made it possible. We would not have been able to create the memories we will cherish forever on our last ever retreat without your countless hours of planning and preparation. Without further ado, enjoy some of the trip's highlights captured by Miss Cross.
To Hugo for putting that together. I'd now like to invite Mr. Brennan forward for his principal's address.
Well, good morning to our Reverend Brothers, to staff, to students, and obviously to our parents and friends who aren't joining us today, or will be joining us, I should say, in live streaming rather than in person. And I thank you for the Assembly today, for everybody who has put it together. There's certainly been a wide range of activities, and again, just particularly for our junior students in Year 7, but just to show you how many different opportunities there are for young men who want to have a go or have a dig here at St Augustine's. Just wanted to speak very briefly this morning around Richard's conversation earlier around action against bullying, and obviously today being a national day, or tomorrow, sorry, being a national day of recognition of anti-bullying. And it made me think a little bit more about what it means to be a member of the community here at St Augustine's. And I think we need to consider ourselves far more significant than just not being bullies. Yes, we've got to call it out when we see it. Yes, it's not something that we should be involved in, and certainly it is something that we never want to have happen to ourselves. But I think as a community we've got to be a hell of a lot better than that. And I think of the story of a young boy who saw a butterfly who was actually trying very hard to break free from its cocoon. And the boy was feeling pity for this butterfly and obviously doing what many people would do, obviously broke the cocoon and allowed the butterfly to escape. However, unfortunately, due to the nature of a butterfly and the whole process of getting out of the cocoon, it allows the butterfly to grow strength. It allows the butterfly to develop, and it allows the butterfly to get the skills and the things that it requires to survive and be productive. And so whilst the young boy thought he was doing a favour to the butterfly by getting it out, by getting the butterfly out of the cocoon too early meant imminent misfortune for the butterfly. You're probably wondering, well, how does that tie into what we're talking about with bullying? And I think to me, as a young man of Saints, it's a very fine line that we have to be there unequivocally for our mates, that we have to be there to support them, that we have to be there when they're struggling, that we have to be there if there is issues at home for them, we have to be there if they're struggling with schoolwork, if they're running late, if they're struggling with sport, if they're struggling with relationship issues with girls or with other boys at the school. But as a mate, we've also got to be there for them in silence at times, to have their back, to allow them to make some of the mistakes. And that's a real challenge, and as I said, it's not particularly in line with bullying, but to me it comes about being a Saints man. Sometimes we have to be there for our mate, and we have to be there when things are difficult, but allow them to have that difficulty. Because as we have difficulties in our life, and I know that there has been many, it gives us a chance to grow resilience. It gives us a chance to become a stronger person, a better friend, a better leader, a better servant to this college. And so I would really encourage you, again, not only tomorrow, as Richard said, but every day, stand up to the person who's doing the wrong thing. We're fortunate in a community like St Augustine's, we do have zero tolerance. Yes, I'm not silly enough to suggest with 800 boys in a yard at recess and lunch, online and other times, people are going to make mistakes. But we do come down on them. But importantly, and just as importantly, we've got to allow some of those mistakes to occur. And then we continue to support our mates. Because without those mistakes, as I said, we don't grow, they don't grow. And it's important, as I said, that resilience is built in all of us. Because it is a tough place for you to live. And I think every year I'm not fortunate of my age by any stretch. But I think when I was your age, whilst I found teenage time very difficult many times, I think you live in an age which is far more difficult than I ever experienced, and I think staff would agree. So the messages I've got, and then I'll conclude, is obviously we don't want any bullying anywhere. We want to stand up for our mates. Importantly, we know what's right and wrong, and we stop it. Secondly, allow our friends the opportunity to grow and to become resilient and to fall at times, because it's okay to fall. It's about the people that are around you once you've fallen that get back up. And I'll conclude just reminding you with, to me, one of the best things I've read in my time here at St Augustine's, and that's the pledge that the prefects gave this year. And just a couple of lines from this in conclusion. We pledge to be optimistic and open with our emotions, to seek help from our mates when we need it, and have the courage not to be okay. We pledge to walk further together and, importantly, to do good quietly, to help those that follow to see further than we can. And finally, we express our profound desire to build a future that we can be proud of. So as Richard said, tomorrow is a special day or a significant day where the action against bullying. But for me, it's important that it's every day. It's important, as I said, that we are quietly around our friends when they do make mistakes, and we continue to pick them up when they need to build their own resilience. And importantly, we seek to help people when it's not okay. And I conclude with a final line of the pledge for 2021, and it's something that is part of what we're trying to do this year. And it's from the prefect group, so it's in the plural. After all, if not us, then who? Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. I would now ask everyone to stand for our concluding hymn.